welcome to the Hawley Area Community Show. I'm Joan, your host, and I'm here with Jerry Cluck, the superintendent from Hawley Public Works, the city of Hawley. Why are we outside? I have no idea. It's not news to you folks that it's cold. There's no news that there's a lot of snow this year, but we wanted to capture kind of some of the things that the Public Works does. So welcome to the show, Jerry.
Thank you.
So, Jerry, you're designated as the superintendent of...
That's correct.
And so what exactly is entailed in your job?
My main responsibilities are the water and the wastewater for the city of Hawley. I also take care of maintenance on our streets, parks, and so forth. And obviously this time of the year, the snow removal gets to be a big part of that.
Snow removal is a big issue all over in the cities, and it looks like quite a job. We're standing in front of a snowbank. How many employees do you actually have that work on this in the winter?
We have 5 or 6 public works employees right now. When we typically plow snow, 5 of us generally come out to run everything from our snow plows to the tractors and blowers, the skid loader, I guess whatever the need may be. If we have a large amount of snow, we'll call in the 6th person, but it's one of those things. We have a very qualified staff that helps out, and everybody knows their jobs and responsibilities, so it does go very well.
Well, that's great. And you've been working here for how many years?
I've been with the city of Hawley here about 15 and a half years. I've had this position since 1999.
Okay. Yeah, and so I'm guessing it's the city limits, correct, that you're in charge of in
Yep.
terms of street removal?
As far as the city of Hawley, we have about 20 miles of streets that we have to maintain, not only in the winter but in the summer as well. And also we take care of our airport, which is, there's a runway out there to plow.
Is the airport in the city limits?
No,
or?
it is not. It's
Okay.
about 1.5 miles west of town, right along Highway 10. But there's 6 hangars out there that we have to keep snow away from, so that, plus the runway open for pilots and aircraft. So whenever we get over an inch of snow, we have to be out there moving snow.
So is that the criteria? Once you have an inch of snow, is that all over the city, or how much snow accumulates before you look at going out?
Typically the airport, we need to keep the runway open after an inch, but our snow removal policy that the city has is generally 3 inches of snow, we go out and plow or remove that. But also that comes into effect, like this past weekend, we had maybe an inch of snow, but then when the wind comes up with so much snow in the area, it tends to block some streets or make streets hard to drive on. So then it's kind of a call, decide, well, we need to go out and do some spot plowing, or the whole city, just depending on how much snow drifts in different areas.
So it's a lot of watching the weather, and where do you
Yes.
get your information about the weather?
I usually watch, keep an eye on the television, also listen to the radio, and I guess that's where I get my information from. And I guess, I know I get, my wife accuses me of watching the weather all the time, but I guess in this position, that's something I gotta try to know what's coming and do some planning, so our staff is available when we need them.
And on that note, I'm going to give a weather report. It's freezing out here, and the cameraman is getting really angry with me right now. So we're going to go inside, take a little break, and finish the show. And I'm back with Jerry Cluck, Public Works Superintendent, and we finally warmed up because we're in the Public Works building with the heated flooring. And heat is our friend on these cold winter's days. So we'd like to talk a little bit about what you see behind us, which is sort of overwhelming to me. I've never been in this shop before, and it's beautiful. And I see some equipment back here, Jerry.
This building was built back 6-7 years ago. Prior to that, we had a very small facility. A lot of our equipment was in cold storage. It's extremely nice to have things inside where it's warm, where we can take care of maintenance on everything. We've got a skid loader with a blower sitting off to my right with a broom. We've got a backhoe sitting here behind us. Our two snowplow trucks are sitting here that we use. One of them we sand with, but that's the 2 trucks we use to push the majority of the snow off the streets. And to my left was a tractor with a blower on it that we use to clean intersections, blow parking lots, do lots of various things. We also have a payloader that is currently working out at the airport, pushing snow out there, cleaning up that. So.
And so, in terms of snow removal this time of year, what is your protocol? We talked about when it's about 3 inches and you kind of look where the wind's blowing, when it's blowing. Things like sand on the street, when is that done?
Typically we try to, if we do a citywide snow removal, every storm is different, every situation is different, but what we like to do is to try to go out in the middle of the night, usually starting around 1 a.m. in the morning when most people are home, there isn't much traffic out. I guess our goal is to try to have the city streets at least passable because so many of our residents commute into the Fargo-Moorhead or other areas for work, have it open for school and so forth. As far as the sanding goes, typically we try to sand after the streets have been plowed. The bad part is now when it's so cold out right now, the sand doesn't really, and the salt really doesn't do much. It needs to be above 10 degrees before it's going to do anything at all as far as to try to cut this ice on the street. So
yeah, I haven't seen a lot of sand lately. Is that why? Because of the temperature?
I mean, it's a cosmetic thing at this point when it's so cold out that it'll basically just track through. But when we had a warm day here, like on Monday, when it started to warm up a little bit, you could see some of the areas we've sanded this starting to work up, and that's what happens. As soon as the temperatures get warm, there is sand and salt there in the ice. As soon as it warms up, it will start to loosen up.
So we talked about the airport, and that kind of takes precedence because things have to happen there. Is there a protocol for parts of town that you typically do first, or you just kind of play that one by ear?
Well, we have in our snow removal policy primary and secondary routes that we try to maintain, especially in the event where we have a blizzard or a storm that may last more than 12 hours. In the event, you know, it's been, I don't think since I've worked here we've really had a situation where we've had a 2 or 3 or 4 day blizzard, but in that event we would have our primary routes would be, for instance, Main Street, 6th Street going north, so that there's access to the manor and those sorts of places. But we have certain streets listed that we try to keep passable so people can still get around and emergency equipment can move throughout the city if need be.
So is there anything that you would like to tell people what they could do to help make your job easier?
I guess this winter has been very difficult as far as not so much the amount of snow, but it seems like it never wants to quit snowing. We keep getting these 1 inch, 2 inch snows that are just more nuisance than anything, but you know, try to refrain from blowing snow back out onto the street once it's plowed. I know snow in driveways can get to be very miserable for homeowners. I mean, I'm a homeowner here. Once I get done with work here, I got to go home and blow my driveway out. Then I got snow in the end of my driveway. Piling snow, if you have someone else push snow, try to, you know, not pile it on the boulevard. We try to keep the intersections open, blown back so that visibility when cars come to an intersection, they can see around the corners to try to, you know, so we don't have any accidents or anything. I mean, that's kind of our priority right now.
Priority is safety.
Safety, right.
So if people have questions or concerns, who should they contact in terms of snow removal?
I guess if there are any questions, I would recommend you call City Hall, leave a message. I'm there in and out, I guess, depending on the day. But leave, you know, our phone number up there is 483-3331. Leave a message and I will certainly return your call as soon as possible. So.
Well, we thank you for all the hard work you do, and we thank you for joining us today, and stay warm.
Thank you.